own website, further helping protect public health and educating parents about air quality. For more information on how to become a Healthy Air Living school, visit healthyairliving.com and click on Schools. That's healthyairliving.com, Schools. From the San Joaquin Valley Air District, this has been your Healthy Air Living Report. Please turn off your engine. From the San Joaquin Valley Air District, this is your Healthy Air Living Report. Motor vehicles are responsible for a majority of valley air pollution, and vehicle idling produces a large amount of unnecessary emissions. Consider shutting off your engine, parking, and entering that restaurant or coffee house instead of going through the drive-thru. And when you're waiting to pick up your kids from school, remember the phrase, turn the key and be idle-free. Making these types of changes will help reduce wear and tear on your engine, save you gas, and save you money. Reaching our air quality goals and protecting public health should be a priority, one that can be achieved when we all work together. This has been your Healthy Air Living Report from the San Joaquin Valley Air District.
KXVS on 92.1. Coming soon.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. This is Connie O'Day. I should say Lion Connie O'Day from Stockton, California. I'm president of the San Joaquin Lions Club here in Stockton. And today I have some special guests from the Discovery Challenge Academy. But first of all, I want to talk about the Peace Poster Contest, the International Peace Poster Contest. We have completed our contest here in Stockton, and our club has sponsored 2 schools, actually 3 schools. Elmwood Elementary School here in Stockton, and we received 77 posters, and also St. Luke's Catholic Elementary School received several posters there, and we also have essay entries from Victory School for the visually impaired. And we were so thrilled to get the essays. It's just absolutely unbelievable. They were very, very good. And we also, I would like to announce, especially for those of you who are near us, that this coming Saturday, November 4th, we're going to have an exhibit of all the posters that were submitted for the contest. And we're going to have that at the Art Expressions of San Joaquin County. This is an art gallery that it is a nonprofit art gallery. And Arturo Vera, he is the one who is the founder of the art gallery and the director, and his wife, Ana Vera, she is the president of the Art Expressions Board of Directors, and she also works for San Joaquin County School District. So we're really excited about this. This will be the first time in our area that any of our posters have been at an art exhibit. And it will be November 4th from 1 o'clock till 4 o'clock. So all of you who are near us, I hope you'll please come out and support the students and see some of their work. Okay, and then also for those who are in District 4A1, all of you Lions out there, this coming November 10th and 11th is going to be our district meeting. And it's Friday, it starts at 6 p.m. with dinner and a speaker and perhaps some very interesting games and a lot of fun and socializing. And then on Saturday, November 11th, we will start with breakfast at 8 a.m. and we will continue with into the afternoon to about 3. And there will be training classes and reports from all the district projects that we have currently going. Now, another announcement is for those of you who know about Camp Pacifica, it's the camp owned by District 4A1, and it specifically has been built for deaf children that come every summer, but we also rent it out all year round to anyone who would like to have like a family reunion. We've had to rent the camp, and what we're looking for right now, we're looking for volunteer camp setters, or sitters, excuse me, volunteer camp sitters. Now, if you have an RV and you want to get away for a week or for a weekend, come to Camp Pacifica, be our sitter. There is hookups, and you will enjoy yourself very much because it's a beautiful, beautiful place. It's near Yosemite, and it's free. We just need somebody to be there to watch the camp and enjoy yourself. So if you're interested, please contact past District Governor Russ Costa. And here's the phone number, 209-410-4102. Or you can look up District 4A1's Camp Pacifica, and you will get the information for contact. A great getaway, no charge. Just be there and watch the camp. Now, here is a big one coming up, February 5th of 2018. It is going to be the Lions Club International Multi-District 4 Convention. It's going to be held at Crown Plaza in San Diego, California. And to make reservations, all you need to do is to call 1-888-233-9527. And if you're able to make your reservations before December 31st, you will be able to purchase the Super Saver Package. And you know what that means. It means for one charge of $250, you have all your meals, you have you receive a pin, you get to go to the governor's ball, and everything for the whole convention. So I hope you'll get your reservations in. And again, it's going to be at the Crown Plaza Hotel, San Diego, California. Okay. Now, I was just recently up at up at Sonora Lions Club up in the Motherlode country. They have several big things going on. And they're having, on December 2nd, they're having pancake breakfast fundraiser at Applebee's. That's only $10, and it's a great meal. Then at the Elks Club on March 30th of next year, 2018, they're having their Dusty Roads Chapino dinner. Many of you out there have been to their Chapino dinner. It's absolutely great. And again, in June, they're going to have a gourmet omelet breakfast at the Sonora Senior Center. And then the big, big fundraiser is going to be the Newt McKenna Lobster Dinner. Now, a lot of you know about the lobster dinner that Sonora gives, and it is fantastic. That's going to be October 5th of 2018. And I'll remind you of this at each one of our sessions here, but put it on your calendar, especially October 5th of 2018. Also, the same day that we are having the art show for the Peace Poster Contest, Stockton hosts Lions Club, along with our Lions Club and other clubs here in the Stockton area. We're having what we call a pub crawl on the Miracle Mile. That is a really nice street, a main street, called Pacific Avenue, but we call it the Miracle Mile. And it's a fundraiser. The tickets are $10 each, and it's a fundraiser for the Big Trees Calaveras Disability Trail. Many of you know about that right now. We're raising money to help redo the disability trail, and it's going to be at the Calaveras Big Trees, and it allows people with disabilities, visually impaired, hearing impaired, those who are in wheelchairs, etc. The trail is totally accessible. There'll be spots where there's going to be Braille signs for those of you who can read Braille, and also there'll be audio for those who are visually impaired, and you'll be able to know where you're at, what is your surroundings, and there's going to be a touching garden at the community center at the end of the trail too. So it's a wonderful, wonderful project. It's a fundraiser. If you want more information about that, please get in touch with me. You can call me at 209-242-4890. And again, that's for the Calaveras Big Trees Disability Accessibility Trail. Wonderful, wonderful project. Now, I would like to get to our visitors. We have wonderful guests today. I'm sitting here with three very nice-looking young men. And I first would like to introduce Chief Matthew Reece. He is representing the Discovery Challenge Academy, and he has brought 2 cadets with him. And first of all, I'd like for Chief Reece to tell us about the Academy and how you got started with the Academy.
Yeah, great question, and good afternoon, everybody. So again, my name is Chief Matthew Reece, and I am the recruiting, placement, and mentoring, as well as the outreach supervisor for the Discovery Challenge Academy. So I want to start by just kind of talking about why we exist, why the military has a role with serving our at-risk youth. So our mission is to intervene in and reclaim the lives of California's at-risk youth. We started nationally back in 1993, and that's actually the year that the United States Congress determined that the dropout rate was a domestic crisis. So
yeah, that's right.
So for any domestic crises, especially here in the state of California, you have a very robust National Guard to provide assistance and help within that domestic crisis.
The National Guard does?
Correct.
Okay.
So for instance, wildfires. We just had a slew of wildfires in Sonoma County. They're in Santa Rosa. My family was actually evacuated from that area, and we deployed hundreds of National Guard men and women to provide assistance to that community in need.
Right.
So what many people see is when they see the Army uniform, they think we're all war fighters overseas, and that's our mission. But the California National Guard, the California Military Department, they serve a much more domestic mission right here at home. However, we're always ready to be prepared to need to deploy overseas and so forth. We have thousands of National Guard men and women deployed overseas right now in service to their country as well. So, but our main mission is right here at home. So again, wildfires, floods, earthquakes, you name it. We're here for the state of California. So
you're part of our first responder group.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. So what the United States Congress determined back in 1993 is who better to serve this domestic crisis than the National Guard.
Right.
And that's where that brainchild of the National Guard Youth Challenge program came from. So today, that was back in 1993, that's 25 years ago, as of October 23rd. 25 years we've been doing this in the United States.
And being the National Guard for 25 years?
Correct.
Okay.
So the National Guard created the Youth Challenge program 25 years ago.
Oh, the Youth Challenge program was started 25 years ago. Oh, fantastic.
So every state that has a National Guard is eligible to have a Youth Challenge program. Not all states have Youth Challenge programs, but there's 40 in the nation.
Wonderful.
We here in California, we have 3. It's our commander, his name is Brigadier General James Gabrielli. It's his intent to better serve the state of California by regionalizing our efforts. So we have. So
where are they located?
Yep, we have our first one, which is the Grizzly Youth Academy. They started in 1998. So in California, we actually started in 1998. About 10 years later, the need was still great, and they needed another academy. At the time, time, they thought it better to be put down in Southern California, in Orange County, California, and that's in Cypress, or what we call Los Alamitos. We have a large training base down there.
Right. Okay.
And here we are now, 8 years later, and we determined that Northern California needs to be represented, and so this is our third program, and it's a partnership between the California National Guard and the San Joaquin County Office of Education.
So where are you located here?
So here in Northern California, we're located at the Sharp Army Depot, which is in Lathrop.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, we who are local and a little bit older really remember Sharp Army Depot very well.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this has been something that's been in the works for the last 6 or 7 years, actually, to bring a program here to Northern California within the San Joaquin Valley. It was actually Superintendent James Musalemas who made a phone call to our one-star general and said, "Sir, what do we need to do to get a program here in San Joaquin County?" And so from that phone call, a series of conversations happened and a series of meetings and so forth. And it was just about 3 years ago that we secured the property at Sharp Army Depot.
Now, who was this again that made that phone call?
Superintendent Jamie Musalemas, and he's the county superintendent for San Joaquin County.
County superintendent.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. So his team actually, Janine Caselin and Brandy Thurman, who's actually our principal, is Brandy. They made a trip down to our, I think it was the Grizzly Youth Academy that they went to visit, and they came back with smiles on their face and saying how we need this program here in San Joaquin County.
Definitely.
So it truly is a great partnership. We could not do what we do without the educators who serve our youth. I'll be honest, the majority of the programs nationwide are GED prep only. That they only offer GED preparatory services. So it would be National Guard men and women like myself up in the front of a classroom with the GED prep book saying.
So the GED, for those of you who don't know what GED is, it's getting your high school
equivalency
without actually being in a high school.
Correct.
Okay.
It's not a diploma. It's essentially a test that says this student knows enough to be equivalent to a high school diploma. But a lot of employers, even the military, they don't look at the GED the same anymore. And so from our commanding general, from his perspective, as well as the county superintendent, a high school diploma goes a lot farther, especially in the state of California.
So you're saying that you said it doesn't go very far, but is it the GED itself doesn't go very far?
The GED itself. If you were to apply for a job and you had a GED and I had a high school diploma, that alone would set you apart. A high school diploma is I would say, looked at more favorably than a GED. A GED shows that you got to a point where you needed to take just a test to make it seem like you were on the same level.
Right.
However, you weren't willing to put in the time and the hard work necessary as you would to get your high school diploma. A GED is a test that could be taken at 17 and a half here in the state of California. And so some students do it out of dire need. For instance, emancipated youth, foster youth, or homeless youth, as a way so they could better provide for themselves in their teen years. However, you see the GED come to as a last resort to a lot of youth, where they are now a super senior, which means they're in their 5th year of high school. And they did something along the way to get behind in credits. And so students will right now often use it as a last resort. So,
well, I think I've known a lot. In fact, my own son, who is like 50-something, 55 years old now and owns 2-3 businesses, he was moving around a lot with his father and then coming to see me, and because we were separated. And he never did finish the high school, though he went and took his GED. But it took a lot of effort on his part. He was working, and then he went to classes at night.
Definitely.
And to me, I think somebody who may have a little crook in the road, you would say, and go after their GED, that has to be admired.
Yeah,
that has to be admired.
I agree.
And, high school diploma, okay, fine. People stay in high school, that's good too. But going after your GED is also another avenue of education.
I agree.
And I think it should be looked at with highest respect too.
Yeah, I agree. However, unfortunately, employers throughout the state of California will disagree. And that's, we just want to better prepare our youth to make sure they have everything they need to be successful. So with me today, I brought two young men who are current cadets at my program. Both are from Stockton. And, I brought these two specifically because the amount of effort that I saw in them just getting to the academy. So I met both of them about 8 or 9 months ago when they started their journey to apply for the Discovery Challenge Academy.
Now, what can you explain to us what this journey consists of?
Yep. I'll start by saying, again, when people see a military uniform, they think of us as a boot camp or as a Scared Straight program. And I think you might be familiar with the Scared Straight program, having worked with the Youth Authority. A Scared Straight program and boot camps are normally programs that students get placed into. They're told you have to do this
by court.
Exactly.
Okay.
So my program is different in that aspect. Is students must volunteer and they must want to come to my academy for themselves. So that in itself, I have a lot of respect for these two young men for just making that step for themselves.
Definitely, because going for something they want and seeing that this is an avenue of building self-esteem and building education, and realizing the first step to anything is to be able to say, hey, I want to do this, or I can do that. So a lot of respect has to go towards you young men. Yeah,
definitely.
Okay.
So we're firm believers that success cannot be forced on anyone.
That's right.
These two young men, I met actually Cadet Costa here prior to Class 1 of our academy. We're in Class 2 right now, and I met him prior to Class 1, and he really wanted to attend my academy, and he'll tell you more about his story, but he had a circumstance in which he had to wait about 6 months in order to be eligible to attend my academy. So just keeping in contact with him for that 6 months and seeing the growth that he made in himself just even before my academy, it really set himself up for success when coming to my academy.
So what actually does the academy offer, and how do they offer it?
Great question. So we offer 16 to 18-year-old students. So in order to be eligible for my academy, they must be 16 to 18 years of age on the first day of the academy. So even if their 16th birthday is on the first day of our academy, they're eligible. And they can turn 19 within our program as long as they were 18 on the first day.
Right.
So we offer them an opportunity to come and live in a quasi-military atmosphere for 5.5 months. And
now, when you say quasi, what does that mean?
So Webster's description of quasi is looks like but not really, or another translation is fake. And we're not a fake military atmosphere. However, it is not militaristic in the way that we do combatives training or weapons training or anything like that. However, the structure in itself is quasi-military, which means what time did you guys wake up for school this morning?
5 o'clock, sir.
5 a.m. And prior to the academy, did you wake up at 5 a.m. every morning?
No, sir.
No, okay. Yeah. So they wake up at 5 a.m. and then you go to school at what time? What time does school start for you guys?
0800, sir.
08. So
that's 8 o'clock in the morning for you who don't know military time.
So there's 3 hours in between the time they wake up and when they have to be at school.
So what do they have to do during that 3 hours?
You tell them.
Hygiene, make our beds, and breakfast.
Okay.
Breakfast.
We also have to get our uniforms ready as well. The uniforms we're currently wearing. We also have time hacks we have to meet. That's part of the quasi-military part.
Do you have inspection in the morning and have to muster in and be counted?
So every day their barracks gets inspected. So they do their barracks maintenance, and they, like you said, make their beds. They make sure that their shoes are all dressed or in a straight line on the ground. Their lockers are all perfect. Yes. They have a guide that's taped to their locker that says, okay, your uniforms have to be this way, your socks, your shoes, everything has to be this way. So if they don't meet inspection, then they cannot advance to the next phase of the program together as a platoon. So during the 5.5 months that they're with us in that quasi-military atmosphere, they're earning 62 high school credits, and that's a year's worth of high school credits.
Fantastic.
So it's a very advanced credit recovery program, and again, those credits come from the San Joaquin County Office of Education. So they're WASC accredited, which means that they will get you the same high school diploma as any other credit in the state of California, and they go towards a Tier 1 high school diploma. So these students the credits that they're earning with us will transfer back to the schools in the areas in which they're from.
So they can go back to a high school?
Definitely.
Work through the program, or can they stay at the program till they get their complete GED
Great
or high
question.
school?
Depending on where they're at with credits. So for instance, Costa here, you are 18 years old, right?
Yes, sir. 19, sir. 19,
excuse me. So he's one of my kids that turned 19 within the program. And he came to us with enough credits to where he's going to be graduating with a high school diploma from our academy here at the end in December. December 16th is our graduation. Cadet Brown, you're younger. How old are you?
17, sir.
17 years old. And he came to us, at first, we actually thought he was going to be going back to a high school in his area. And which high school were you at prior?
Bear Creek High School.
At Bear Creek High School.
At Bear Creek, yes.
So we thought that...
And that's in Stockton, California.
And we thought, based on the credits that we saw when he first got to us, that he would actually go back and finish out at Bear Creek and get his high school diploma there. But we actually just found out today, I had a meeting with my counselors, and we got the updated credits from Bear Creek High School for him, and he's also going to be graduating with a high school diploma.
Wow.
So early.
Congratulations.
As well. So he'll be graduating with his diploma early. So depending on how old they are and also where they're at in credits will determine whether or not they go back to a high school in their area, or they may join a continuation school if they're still behind in credits when they leave us, or they may determine to do home studies or independent study or something like that. But during the academy itself, they're only on grounds with us for 5.5 months. And then after the academy, and I'll get this to this just a little bit later, is our post-residential program, which is where we follow up with these students for an entire year after the academy.
Oh, wonderful. But
during the academy, and again, those credits, they come from civilian educators, so it's the teachers of the San Joaquin County Office of Education. They're the ones that teach the classes during the day. They have 6...
At the academy, it's
correct.
Stockton, San Joaquin County.
San Joaquin County Office of Education. So our schoolhouse, we have civilian teachers that come in at our schoolhouse, and there are 6 periods every day, and we do the Common Core curriculum, and depending on where they're most credit deficient, they're going to be getting credits in those areas. So, for instance, myself, growing up in high school, I was terrible at math. I still am, but I was credit deficient in math. I actually myself had to go to night school to graduate on time with my diploma. So, depending on where they're credit deficient, sometimes it's math, maybe English or history, what have you, we're going to make sure they're in classes that represent where they're credit deficient. So,
well, I can understand what you're talking about, because when I had lots of college and university work, but when I went to Humboldt County, I went to the College of the Redwoods, Community College, and I was taking double credits for each subject, because I didn't know if I was going to go to the state university to finish out my BS degree, or I was going to go to university, straight university. And so when I had to take a math, well, I took 1 semester of math in high school, algebra, and I ended up having to take 3 semesters of high school algebra before I could take the college algebra class.
Yep.
So I understand what you're talking about.
So what we don't want to do is, load them up with electives or give them credits where they don't really need them, because again, when they go back to their high school, we want them to be able to be productive and graduate on time.
Right.
That's our main mission. So when people see this uniform, they also think that we're a recruiting tool for the military, and we're actually quite the opposite. We really engage the students and ask them what they want to do to be successful. Our main focus is their education, and that's simply put, Statewide, with our 3 programs, only about 0.07% of our kids will enter any branch of the armed service within a year after graduation. So it's a very small percentage. I would say that a typical high school would actually get more than that.
Right.
But our kids, you know, we want to make sure that they put together the plan for themselves. So each of these young men, they themselves have formed their PRAP, which is a post-residential action plan. And in their PRAP, they've determined what their plan A is, as well as what a plan B is, just in case that plan A does not work out. So Costa, what's your plan A? After you leave the academy, you get your diploma, what's your plan A?
My plan A is to either join the Marines or the Army.
I'm going to put the mic a little bit closer to you.
I've been looking forward to the Marines because one of my sergeants who I really look up to, he was an ex-Marine, and he tells me all of his stories and just really pumps up the Marines, and tells me that Marines are they're the Marines. You can't say any much more about that. So to have that pride to walk around and saying that you were once a Marine, I kind of want to have that, But my plan B, if that goes not so well, is to go to Job Corps and kind of just explore my opportunities in different career fields and everything, and just really see where I fit in, where I would need to be.
Are you planning to go to college, or is that in part of your plan, or go into the military?
That's part of Plan A, ma'am. If I do make it into the Marines or the Army, I will be going to college for electronical stuff with computers.
So you've spoken with this Marine mentor, and you know what is required of you to go into the Marine Corps to be accepted? And is that what you're striving for?
Yes, ma'am. I'm actually talking to a recruiter right now. I will be receiving papers from him, I say in about another week, and I'm going to be signing up before I even leave the academy.
So what brought you to the academy? Because I understand, Chief Reece, that they come on their own. Okay, you don't go out and recruit them, but they know about the program, and then...
We do recruit. I would say I recruit more stakeholders than I do cadets. And what I mean by that is I'm at high schools. I'm at juvenile halls and juvenile courts for misdemeanor court. I'm talking to social workers. I'm talking to members of the community, law enforcement. We have a great
officers.
Probation. We have a great relationship with Stockton PD as well as the San Joaquin County Sheriff's Department. Those men and women of the police force, they are out there every day, and they encounter, I would say, probably 10 at-risk youth every day just on their beat.
Have you ever spoken with the senior chaplain?
Yes.
Chaplain Jesse?
Yeah, Chaplain Jesse.
He thinks greatly of youth and wants to do so much.
I first met him
excellent.
at the first Coffee with Police about a year ago. Met him before we even started the academy, and he was really excited to hear what we had coming to the area. And same with the police chief as well as with the sheriff. Is they really? That's one thing I love about San Joaquin County is we are truly supported by our community. And
that's good.
Honestly, seeing our other 2 academies start up, they didn't necessarily have that support when they first started. So
do you know that senior Jesse, Chaplain Jesse, was a Navy SEAL?
I did not know that. Actually.
Yes, he was the Navy SEAL.
Navy SEALs typically don't tell you when they were Navy SEAls.
Yeah.
So that's
I had him speak to my Lions Club, and then I had him on my show. He's coming on again, and his desire to help at-risk youth in the community is just about where my feelings are too. So, and this is wonderful. Yep.
So Cadet Costa, he actually came to me, and I'll let you kind of tell them more about your story and kind of how where you ended up at first, and then how you made it to the academy.
All right. So the day I actually met Chief Reece, I was signing up for SJOCE, which is the school district I'm currently in.
What school district is that?
SJCOE, so the San Joaquin County Office of Education.
Oh, okay.
It's the same school system that's here at DCA. And I was going through booth to booth, and Chief Reece came up to me and said, "Hey, young man, how would you like to change your life?" And I said, "That sounds great, but that sounds hard." And so after a while of talking, he told me about Discovery Challenge Academy, and I would really look forward to it because I've always wanted to be in the military, and he told me that this is a perfect start off for that. And so after a little bit of talking, I signed some paperwork, and I believe a few months later, I went to the first roll call.
Mm-hmm.
And
the what?
You have to go to a roll call.
Roll call?
Now it's 2 roll calls before you initially get into the academy.
And a roll call is a tryout. So kind of like I mentioned, we want individuals who want to come to the academy. We gauge their commitment by sending them through a tryout. So it's more of a physical tryout where they are actually doing push-ups and sit-ups and kind of learning more of the standard that we have at the academy.
Oh, okay.
So go ahead.
Good.
After I attended the first trial roll call, I actually went to court for some charges I had, and ended up doing 300 days on points in JJC.
Juvenile hall.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when Chief Reece was talking about, he was talking to me for 6 months and writing me and just making sure I was okay. He even came in and visited me a few times and just really checking up on me. And it meant so much to me, having someone there, having that main real struggle of my life. And then I ended up only having to serve 5.5 months for good behavior. And then I got out in May, and then Class 2 of DCA started January 14th, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Chief Reece was like, "Hey, do you still want to come back?" And I said, "Of course I do. You asked me if I wanted to change my life, and I do want to change my life." So this time around, I went to 2 roll calls, and that was pretty physically straining, but it was all worth it. So now I'm here getting my education, gonna graduate on time, and just learning what I need to be a man.
Well, I think you're on the right track, very much so. Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Now, what about you, Cadet Brown?
Well,
What brought you to the program?
what brought me to the program was my friend. We were supposed to go together. His sister went the first program, and we was like, man, like we need credits. I was like, I needed credits bad because I went to my counselor, and he was talking about how I'm going to be a super senior, and I didn't want to be no super senior.
What's a super senior?
A super senior is a person that's not going to graduate on time with this class.
And this was at Bear Creek High School. Okay.
Yes. So I was like, why not? I'm not doing nothing else. I'm sitting here sitting on my butt. Why not go up and try it out? So I got my papers, signed my papers, and sent them to him. And then I get a call. Like, my mom called me like, yeah, you got to go to a roll call. A roll call? What's a roll call? I'm like, what is this? Then the first time I went, I was late. I was late the first day, and I had some pants on. I had some regular G's on. And
so real quick, what he's describing, that wasn't actually a roll call. And this is kind of, I mentioned that Brown really fought to get in the academy. After the first class, I created, and actually I stole this from the Marine Corps. The Marine Corps, years ago back in the 90s, they started what's called the Poolies program, which in the 90s, they had a hard time recruiting Marines and keeping them out of trouble before they left for basic training.
Okay,
so,
yeah.
Even Marines, 18, 19-year-olds, or 17, 18, 19-year-olds, they would get their ship date of 2 months from now, and then they would say, "Oh, I'm a Marine, I can't wait. I'm gonna leave for basic training." They go out, they have some fun, and they get in a little bit of trouble, right? Or not only that, they would get to basic training and they wouldn't really know what to expect, and they would have a very high attrition rate in basic training. Well, the United States Army also took after that, and we created the Future Soldier Program, or the RSP program, and that basically once a week, Cadet Brown had the opportunity opportunity. This was not mandatory, although his mom may have told him it was mandatory.
Yes,
he had the opportunity to come and work out with some of my cadre and some of my current cadets in the park once a week. You know, it was an opportunity, an hour-long workout. And I actually remember the first time that he came to the first workout, and he was late, and he was wearing jeans, not ready to work out.
What was he supposed to be wearing?
Just PE clothes, you know, just shorts and a t-shirt.
Okay.
You know, some running shoes, but that's okay. He came, and one thing that I noticed about Cadet Brown is that he did not give up. And he truly worked his butt off. And he was a larger kid back then.
Yes.
And how much weight have you lost during the academy?
19 pounds.
19 pounds.
Excellent.
So being a larger kid, I'll tell you what, he had more hustle in him than any of the other kids out there. So he really worked his butt off. I think, if I am recalling correctly, you only missed one PT in the park.
Yes.
And he was at every other PT in the park. That's prior to any of the tryouts. So he showed up every week to work out voluntarily with my team to make sure that he got a place at the academy.
Now, Cadet Brown, tell me, what motivated you to come and continue to come to these, what is it called?
The PT in the parks.
PT in the park.
I seen it as a challenge, and I don't like giving up. So I kept on going, you know, and I didn't give up. I don't like giving up on challenges, and when it's handed to me, what's right in front of my face.
So now, how has that what has that done to give you or to get you to where you are now, having that kind of motivation and character?
It got me to graduate early. It got me to expand my mind a lot better. I think differently. I react to stuff differently, and I'm a lot more grateful. I count my blessings. That's what.
That's very admirable.
Yeah.
Very admirable.
So real quick, because they both left this out, and I really think that this is very important. Costa, prior to DCA, what was your grade point average at your old school?
Prior to DCA, well, in juvenile hall, it was a 4.0.
Mm-hmm.
However, before that, it was more like a 0.1.
Okay, and what's your grade point average now at DCA?
It's a 3.7.
3.7.
Excellent.
Okay. And again, we have the same teachers. So the San Joaquin County Office of Education, they do a great job within the juvenile hall.
Yeah.
They have teachers within the hall.
Right.
But San Joaquin County Office of Education, I can't speak higher of any other group of educators. You know, these educators have been with the County 1 schools, which are the continuation schools in the county.
Right.
They've been working, or they've worked in juvenile hall. Our administrator, our principal, Brandy Thurman, she was actually the administrator at juvenile hall as well. So these are professionals that have worked with at-risk youth for years and years, and they volunteer. They didn't get transferred. You know, they didn't get told they have to come and work for us. They volunteered to come and work for us. So, and then Cadet Brown, what was your grade point average prior to DCA?
A 1.5.
1.5, and what is it now?
At 3.8.
And today,
fantastic.
He actually won a huge award this morning, and it was is it Student of the Week?
Yes, I won a Student of the Week, and I got a golden pencil.
Got a golden
You
pencil.
got a what?
A golden pencil. That means I was...
So it's a pencil that's actually gold. It's
Oh.
a golden pencil.
Now tell me something. Because I've worked with at-risk youth for
Yes.
many, many years. I worked in the youth authority, supervising young men like yourself. And these were really bad criminals.
Yes.
Really bad.
Yes.
And what, I guess what I'm trying to say is, how did you feel becoming the Student of the Week? Is that it? The Student of the Week. What did that mean to you?
It meant a lot. It meant really a lot. Because my goal was getting a Student of the Week. I'm like, I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it. And then when the time came and I got it, I was like, my mind, I couldn't wrap up my mind around it. I'm like, what do I do now? I was stuck. I'm like, then people was like, go run, go get your pencil. I'm like, all right, yeah. And then I felt like the champ.
What did you
good.
have to do to get that?
Working hard, listening to my teachers, studying, getting good scores on my test, asking a lot of questions, being involved in class. That's what I had to do.
So within yourself, how did it make you feel or change from when you were before you came to the academy?
It made me feel that I could accomplish anything. And like doing this right here, I'm not nervous, but I didn't feel like I could do something like this. I didn't feel like I could speak to other people like this. It just got my confidence way up now. A lot better.
That is very, very admirable. Yes, extremely. So where do you visualize yourself going after you accomplish your is he going for a high school diploma?
Yeah, he'll be getting his high school
diploma.
Okay. So what is your desire to do now and to take what you've learned? Where are you going from here?
From here, when I graduate, get my diploma, I'm going to get my body more right, so I want to prepare myself for the Army. So that's where I'm going. I'm going to the Army, being a door gunner. A door gunner is a person who's in the helicopters, you know, shooting down people.
Right.
So I'm gonna get my mentally and my spiritually and my body straight before I want to be prepared before I go there. So
So how long do you think that's going to take?
Probably I'm gonna give it a year, but I feel like that's doing too much. But I'm gonna give it a year. You know, have my body straight, working out. You know, make sure I have my mind straight. You know, this is what I want to do.
So that kind of leads us into that post-residential phase that I was kind of talking about earlier. You know, everybody's journey to the program is different.
Right.
However, all of our cadets, these two young men right here, will have the same exact support after the academy.
Yes.
And it's an additional case manager, a social worker, and a counselor essentially working for them to make sure that they're successful.
So you don't get off track.
Exactly.
Yes. And our mentor.
And their mentor. That is, I'll tell you what, the mentoring component of our program is, I would say, the largest part of our success. Every student in our academy has a mentor, and actually Cadet Brown, he went without a mentor up until this last weekend.
Yes.
We went and did a presentation to 100 professional men of the San Joaquin Valley, and
These are businessmen?
businessmen.
Okay.
A lot of them work in corrections or healthcare or so on and so forth. But it's an organization also dedicated to give back. And so the 100 professional men of the Central Valley, they allowed us to come and speak to their members. And I had Cadet Brown and 7 other cadets there with us, and 3 of my cadets in that presentation did not have mentors. And these men raised their hands, and they volunteered to be mentors for our young men, which it's remarkable. And that's kind of like what I was talking about, the support from our community, which is so great. So the mentors, the commitment is they come in during the academy. So during the 5.5 months that the students are there, the mentors will show up 3 times during that 5.5 months on pre-scheduled visits, and they're scheduled way in advance. But then in that post-residential phase, it's up to the mentors and the cadets to continue that relationship, and they meet or they talk on the phone at least 4 times every month, where the mentor and the cadet are able to maintain contact, 4 contacts every month, and that mentor just sends in a report to us to let us know how the kids are doing. However, my case managers are also reaching out to the kids multiple times a month to make sure that they're being productive.
Fantastic.
So if they go back to a high school, or if they need help transitioning back to a high school, they're going to have the support.
Now, here's the part that before our show ends, that I want you to tell me about, and I would like a little response from you gentlemen.
Absolutely.
Is when you enter the academy, you live there, right?
That's
And what do you have while you're there at the academy?
So I'm going to start with the structure, because we have 3 platoons. We have 2 male platoons and 1 female platoon. One way that we do education a little bit different is males go to school with males and females go to school with females. So there's no distractions. There's no cell phones. There's no Xboxes or gaming systems.
No cell phone.
Nope.
No Xbox.
None. They get 1 hour of study hall at least every day.
What about computers?
They get Chromebooks issued for during class time, but they're heavily monitored, so they can't even, go on Google or search the things they should not be searching. No playing games or music.
Yes.
It's only for their research and for their projects in the classroom. But when they go back to the Bay for that study hall, it's all pen and paper. So, but they get at least an hour of study hall every day. The one thing before they start is the number of books that they read during the academy. It's phenomenal. I took a kid, real quick story, is I took a kid to a court date, and we're about 5 weeks into the program when I took him to a court date. It was a follow-up from a previous charge. And part of our job is to kind of assist them getting out of the juvenile justice system.
Right.
So I took this kid to a court date, and he says, "Chief, can I take a book for the ride over?" And I said, "Young man, it's like 5 minutes away, but okay, sure, bring a book." Okay. So I asked him, "Were you a reader prior to coming to DCA?" He said, "I've never finished one book." And I said, "This is 5 weeks in." And I said, "Since you've been here, how many books have you finished?" And he said, 7. So I would venture to say that their story is probably a little. How many books have you read during the academy, Costa?
I've read about 6 or 7.
About 6 or 7.
I was squad leader for 2 weeks, and I had no time at all to read a book.
Because we put them in different leadership positions. How many books do you think you've read, Brown?
Maybe I'm gonna say 5 that I've finished.
Okay.
But I have a whole stack of books.
And prior to the academy, were you a reader?
No, I didn't even look at a book.
Okay. So they'll tell you a little bit more about the challenges of the academy. What do you think's been the most challenging part of living with 50 other young men in a platoon?
Dealing with different attitudes. Dealing with squad leaders and dealing with the same age of people, telling you what to do, how to do it. Another challenge is waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
That's one.
And what's been the best part for you?
The best part is that I'm learning each and every day. I'm learning something new. I'm learning discipline, and I'm learning every time I come outside, to the outside, doing this, I learned how much mature I am than other people are.
And how much respect you show.
Yes, ma'am.
That's one of the things. I met the cadets and became acquainted with the Discovery Challenge Academy when we had the Vietnam moving wall here in the end of June, and one of the other officers, Estrada,
Sergeant First Class
Estrada, and she had 2 cadets with her, and of course I picked them out right away, and she told me about how these young people were at risk and where their journey had taken them now, and you would never have thought that these young people ever had a bad thought. And I just had to do a great big old bear hug with everybody, because it was so inspiring to me after all the years I've worked with at-risk youth and young men, and to see you and hear the respect that comes from you. And you are military, right?
Yep.
But the students are not military.
Correct.
But you live a type of discipline.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're great. I am so proud of you. I mean, it just makes my heart so happy, and I hope all of you out there too can see what this program can do for our at-risk children and youth, and turn them into young men and women of high quality and character. And you got a good path ahead of you. And you are military, though,
yes,
right?
Yep. It's a program that's funded and supported by the California National Guard. So for more information, you can find us online at discoverychallengeacademy.org. You can go to our Facebook and search Discovery Challenge Academy, or you could always give us a phone call at 844-633-3301, and we're always available to answer questions and be of service here to Northern California. That's what we do.
Well, I just want to say that I think your program's absolutely wonderful.
Thank you.
I've met 6 of your cadets now, and I could not have been more proud of seeing these. I can see those who are at risk doing lots of terrible bad things. I've seen many of them, and I see you having the opportunity. And what's really important is you made the step.
Yep.
Yes,
Nobody
ma'am.
went out there and said, okay, judge says, okay, you have to go, like you have to go to juvenile hall or something. But you made the decision to go the right path for yourselves. And I hope you stay that way.
Yes, ma'am.
You look so, you would never think you would do anything but be the best military people and serve our country and so forth. And thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for serving our country. And
They do all the hard work. I just make it look good.
I hope you do go into the military, and the opportunities, you know, are so great, and the respect that you show. I'm very proud of you. Even though you just met me, I'm very proud of you that you're in our community. Are we about ready here? Our show is about ready to. I mean, we could go on and
Yes.
talk.
Yes.
I'm
I can talk
going
for
to have
hours.
them come back.
Good.
Come back because that's one of the things the Lions do is really try to work with the youth, and I hope that we might be able to do something
Yeah.
with the academy.
And next time I'll bring
we do all kinds of community work.
Yep. And next time I'll bring my female cadets. I think you'll be very inspired to see
I've
the
met one
success
of the
that
young
they've made,
ladies.
so.
That would be very good.
Yep.
I want to shake your hands. My goodness, I'm so proud of you. You've done great, and you're going to do great. And
Thank you so
thank
much.
you
Thanks for
for
having
you
us.
doing what you're doing in your service too.
Thank you.
And I want to. Are we done now? Are we off? Okay. Thank you, and hope to see you next Monday. Bye now.
My name is Josh, and you're listening to KXVS, the voice of Stockton, 92.1.